All right, so today we're doing a deep dive into RoleCatcher. And let me tell you, this platform looks interesting, like really interesting.
It does.
They seem to do a little bit of everything: job boards, resume help, interview prep. It's a lot. What's the first thing that caught your eye?
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack. I think the thing that stands out to me is this idea of beating the bots. It's something we all think about, right? Like, how do you get your resume seen by an actual person, not just some computer program?
Totally. Like, nobody wants to feel like they're just shouting into the void. But it's hard to know, like, what do you actually do about it?
Exactly. And I think that's where RoleCatcher is trying to, fill that gap. They talk about how their system analyzes job descriptions, but like way more deeply than just looking for keywords. It's about identifying those specific skills employers really want.
So it's like having a secret decoder ring for job descriptions.
Yeah, kind of.
Right.
They're saying their system helps you figure out how to showcase the right things on your resume.
Okay, so that makes sense. Because often it feels like you're just guessing, right? Like, oh, maybe they want to see this skill highlighted, but you never really know.
Right. And the thing is, employers are getting so many applications these days, anything you can do to stand out in that initial screening is going to be huge.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Have you ever applied for a job where you were just sure it was being screened by a computer?
Oh, totally. It's like you pour your heart and soul into that application, and then you just get like a generic rejection email 2 seconds later.
The worst.
Yeah, so RoleCatcher seems to understand that frustration, and they're really pushing this idea of tailoring your resume to each specific job. They even have this thing where you can compare different versions of your resume,
Yeah.
and it like scores them against the job description.
Whoa, no way. That's actually pretty cool. Like, it's A/B testing, but for your career.
Exactly. No more guessing. And they have a massive database of interview questions, too. Over 100,000 or something crazy like that.
100,000. Okay, at that point, you'd practically be ready for anything.
Right. And it's not just about memorizing a bunch of answers. They seem to use AI to analyze your responses and give you personalized feedback.
So it's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket. That would be amazing, especially if you get nervous during interviews.
Right. So they're trying to make it more about building your skills and confidence, not just giving you canned responses.
I like that.
It's true. Practice does make perfect.
Yeah.
But let's be real for a sec. The first hurdle is always like finding those jobs that are even worth applying for.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Right.
Scrolling through endless job boards, nobody's got time for that.
And that's where I think RoleCatcher's jobs module gets interesting. They say they pull listings from like everywhere, their own board, the big sites, even those smaller niche boards.
Okay, so you're saying it's not just the same old, same old.
Right. And get this, they have a browser plugin so you can save jobs from any website directly into your RoleCatcher account.
Oh, that's kind of brilliant. It's like that universal shopping cart, but for jobs. Because how many times have you been like, oh, I saw this amazing posting, and then you can't remember where it was?
All the time. And they have Kanban boards so you can organize everything visually.
Okay, I have to admit, I love a good Kanban board. Nothing is more satisfying than dragging that card over to interview, even if it feels like a small victory.
Right. It's all about those little wins. But you're right. We can't forget about actually putting together those applications.
True. Because finding a job is only half the battle. What about making sure your resume and cover letter are actually, good?
Exactly. And that's where this whole AI thing comes in again. So remember how we were talking about how they analyze job descriptions? Well, they take it to a whole other level with the CV resume builder.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. Tell me more.
So they claim their AI can actually compare your current resume to the specific requirements of the job you're applying for.
So it's not just about catching typos, it's about making sure you're highlighting the right stuff.
Yes. They say it can identify those areas where you might be like, oh, I should really mention that project.
It's like having a personal editor who also speaks fluent recruiter.
Right. And get this, they even let you create multiple versions of your resume, and their system tells you which one is like most likely to get past those bots and catch a recruiter's eye.
Okay, that is seriously cool.
Right. No more agonizing over which skills to highlight.
It's like they're taking all the guesswork out of it.
Exactly. And they have a similar feature for cover letters, too. Like they say they can help you tailor it to each job, making sure you're hitting all the right points.
Okay, now we're talking. Because a cover letter is so important. It's your chance to actually show some personality.
It's true. Resumes can be so, formal and boring.
Exactly. But writing a good cover letter is hard, so having some AI help would be amazing.
Right. It's like having a writing partner who actually knows what they're doing.
Exactly. Okay, so we've talked about finding the jobs, crafting those killer applications, But then comes the really scary part, the interview.
Ugh, don't remind me. Interviews are the worst.
Right. But of course, RoleCatcher has a solution for that too. They have that crazy database of interview questions, remember?
Oh, yeah, the 120,000 questions.
Yeah.
How can I forget?
I know it's a lot, but they claim it's not just about the quantity, it's also about how they've organized everything.
They have it all categorized by career path and skill set, which makes so much more sense.
So you're not wasting time practicing answers to questions that are totally irrelevant to your field.
Exactly. They're really trying to make it super targeted and efficient.
I like that. So it's not just about throwing a bunch of information at you. It's about giving you the tools to actually prepare effectively.
Right. And they take it a step further, too. They offer, like, expert-guided approaches to answering the questions.
Oh, that's cool. So it's not just about memorizing answers. It's about understanding the strategy behind them.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who are really serious about practicing, they even have a video feature where you can record yourself answering common interview questions.
Wait, seriously? That's kind of genius and terrifying all at the same time.
I know, right? But think about it. You can watch it back and see how you come across.
True, because sometimes you don't realize you're like fidgeting or saying a million times until you see it on camera.
Exactly. And they claim their AI can actually provide feedback on your video, too. Like it can assess how well you're incorporating the things you've practiced.
Okay, that is actually really helpful. It's like having a personal coach analyzing your every move. So we've talked about finding the jobs and we've talked about those applications, but there's this whole other part of RoleCatcher we haven't even gotten to yet, the career compass. What is that all about?
Okay, so it's not like, a magic 8-ball that tells you exactly what you should be doing with your life.
We're far.
But it's designed to help you explore different career paths and figure out what actually aligns with, like, your skills, your interests, all of that.
I like it. So many people feel stuck, you know? But they don't even know where to start looking.
Exactly. It's overwhelming, right? And RoleCatcher seems to get that. They have this whole database of career paths, and they give you all this information, like what the job actually entails, the education you might need, salary expectations.
Okay, so you can go from, wait, people actually get paid to do that, to, okay, what do I need to do to make this happen?
Yes, exactly. And it gets even cooler. They have this feature that analyzes your existing skills and then suggests related career paths that you might not have even thought about.
Oh, that is cool. It's like, hey, you're good at this. Have you considered this other thing?
Right. And here's the best part. It's all connected to their jobs module. So once you've found something interesting, boom, you can see who's hiring.
Okay, so it's like they've really created this whole ecosystem, which I have to say is pretty impressive.
They have. And they seem to be targeting a pretty wide audience, too. They have a whole section on their website called, like, RoleCatcher for, and it's like job hunters, employers, career coaches.
Wow, okay. They're really going for it. It makes you wonder, can they actually pull it off? Can they really be everything to everyone?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the only way to really know is to try it out.
True, because they do have those free and paid subscriptions, right?
They do. And the free plan seems pretty generous. You get access to, like, the basic features, the job board, the resume builder, some of those interview questions.
Okay, so you can at least get a feel for the platform without having to commit.
Exactly. But if you want the really good stuff like all the AI features, you got to upgrade.
That makes sense. You get what you pay for. But based on everything we've talked about today, they do seem to be offering a lot, especially with those AI-powered tools.
I agree. It's clear they've put a lot of thought into this platform. It's user-friendly, it's comprehensive.
It really does seem like they've thought of everything.
Right.
Well, there you have it, our deep dive into RoleCatcher. It's a lot to process, I know, but the big question is, have you tried it? What do you think about AI and the future of job hunting? Let us know, and until next time, happy job hunting.